You're listening to the Burnt Offerings podcast, a show about cigars, friends, faith, and general tomfoolery. Do not take these guys too seriously. Now grab a stick, settle in, and let's set fire to foot. This is Burnt Offerings.
Welcome to another episode of the Burnt Offerings podcast, a podcast where we talk about cigars, we talk about life, we share a lot of stories over and over and over again. We're glad that you are with us tonight. I am Ryan, your co-host, along with my friends Steven and Patrick, and our good friend Jason, who's normally here but is not here tonight. And we wish him all the best, and we wish him well.
He's dead to me.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Well, that went dark quick.
Probably isn't going to get a lot better from here.
It's all downhill.
What are we smoking tonight, Steven?
We are smoking the Plasencia 151 Cosecha. And on the foot of this stick is another band. This is another three-bander, as we just discussed last week. We had a three-bander. On the foot, we have one that says Cosecha Privada. So Cosecha, Ryan, you looked up, means
Harvest,
and Privada means private. So a private harvest stick by Plasencia. And we're very excited about this. These tend to be a good quality item here.
I've had a few Plasencia cigars. They've all been very, very good. I really enjoyed them. I've not had this cigar. I've not had this cigar.
Hey, Tony, you want to smoke a cigar?
I've probably not smoked very many of them, only because they tend to be out of my price range. And so I'm looking forward to this.
I'm sure we'll get to that, but we'll have to talk about how shops loved overprice Plasencias.
They really do.
Just seems like one of those brands.
At least the ones that we're around, that's for sure.
They love to inflate the price.
Yeah. Well, it's a good looking stick.
Yeah.
As we like to do, for our listeners, most of these sticks are ones that none of us have had before. And so rather than just cutting, lighting, and getting into it, we want to take a moment and just notice the stick before we light it. This one here is a good size. It's looks to be a Toro, 6 inches by probably about 56 ring gauge. That's what I'm guessing. I don't know that for sure, but by looks, kind of a darker wrapper, kind of a coffee-colored wrapper, I would say. Smooth, the veining's not too pronounced. Thoughts anything you guys are noticing?
Earthy, almost a little bit of that fresh, I can't remember what the name for that, the scent that you get after the rain. There's a scientific term for that, but there's a little bit of that there.
That smells like home to me.
Okay.
By the way.
Sense of home. It does have that
we can
fresh,
dive into that.
after the rain
smell. There's a name for that. I'll figure it out.
It's very clean. I like it.
Yes.
Super inviting.
And this private harvest, I'm sure there's reasons for this name. I'm sure we'll dig into that shortly. But it's kind of giving you that vibe for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm cutting. I'm going to crack into this thing. It looks to be a double capped cigar. So that's good.
We didn't talk about caps last time.
And we've not.
Capped on the end means that it's where you're going to draw from.
That's how they seal the head of the cigar.
Yes, and so sometimes there's one, sometimes there's two.
Oftentimes there's two. Can get a third.
Not a fourth.
I don't know that I've ever noticed.
Maybe you just don't smoke $10 million cigars. Maybe they'd have four caps on those bubbies.
Wow.
Cold draw.
Wow. Cedary.
Yes.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Not what I was expecting. Based on the smell, I did not get what I thought I was going to get.
Well, you take that clean after the rain smell and this cold draw cedar taste, I feel like I'm on a galleon out on the wild seas somewhere with Jack Sparrow at the helm.
So far, I like this private harvest.
Yeah.
Get a nice toast going here on the foot of this really inviting cigar.
True audio fashion. Patrick is torching his cigar so close to the microphone you can hear it. What an enjoyable sensory experience.
ASMR, as the kids say.
Yeah. Already 2 draws, and I'm excited. This is gonna.
Yeah, at the end of what has been a very long day, yes, please to this.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a reason why this cigar is probably going to be more than anything I would buy.
Yeah.
This is pretty amazing.
Well, I'm at the old country buffet of flavor right now.
You're talking about the old hometown buffet? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, I'm at a buffet somewhere, and it's packed full of flavor.
If there is beef tallow in cigars, we have found it.
Mercy. That's
a sit back and smoke it after the first couple puffs, right? That's like it makes you just
pay attention.
Cedar, there's some of that pepper kind of on the roof of my mouth, middle of the tongue. I'm getting kind of like I'm getting it right, kind of sides of the tongue and roof of my palate. The top of my upper palate there. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't describe it as hot, but there's a tingle in those spots. I'm definitely getting that cedar.
Yes.
Oh golly, that cedar. The room note, right? That's a term we'd use from pipe tobacco, but like that is cedary and lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. The pepper's there too for me.
Yeah, you getting that little tingle in the.
But it's not a real harsh black pepper, kind of real pronounced up front, but it's there.
It's kind of dancing around on the old palate.
This is lovely. Lovely, lovely.
If we haven't said so far tonight, good to be with you and smoking a cigar as always.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
Certainly, if you're looking at the episodes ahead of time, join us in smoking.
I
Right?
had this
that would be great.
just now.
Pick up the stick.
Yeah.
Smoke along with us. See if you're getting the same stuff. Go, send us feedback.
It's a great idea. I would actually take this stick and listen to this episode later.
Yeah.
And re-smoke this stick.
If the first, I don't know, centimeter, 2 centimeters is an indication, yes.
It's going to be a good night.
Interesting thing. So it seems like they're doing something here. This is kind of an anniversary, kind of a very probably important cigar for them. It's a Puro, Brian, as they say in the trade. Can you help us understand what a Puro is?
Yeah, Puro is when the cigar is made from a single origin leaf. And in this case, this is a Honduran Puro.
Yes.
So the binder, filler, the wrapper are all Honduran leaf.
So front end notes, first third, coffee. It states coffee and pecans are the front end on the first third of the stick as we're first enjoying this.
I've not gotten to coffee and pecans yet.
I have not.
No,
either.
that cedar is very dominant.
It is.
I got cedar and pepper up front here still.
I've always been interested in the idea. I don't know if Plasencia is a Honduran company.
They are.
Okay, so it makes sense that they would be celebrating themselves. I don't know if I've smoked a Puro cigar. Most of the times that I've ever done that, they tend to be Nicaraguan.
Yeah.
When I've done that. So Honduran, I can know what Honduran tastes like because this is Honduran with Honduran with Honduran.
4th generation cigar makers. So great-grandfather started the company in Cuba, was sort of ran out. As I understand it, I forget what it was about it, but ran out of Cuba, found himself in Honduras, restarted. Took his Cuban seed, restarted there in Honduras. Was run out of Honduras, went to Nicaragua.
Okay.
And then more recently came back to Honduras. So they have shops in both Honduras and Nicaragua. Honduras based primarily, I think, is the main factory and where the main crops are grown. They grow a lot of tobacco for a lot of other companies.
So I let it mellow there for a minute. Just put it down after those first couple rips. There is some of that pecan there now. It's kind of a gentle toasted. It's weird. I've still got some that heat has moved a little bit further back on my tongue now. I did get like that very kind of subtle, earthy sweet that you get with a pecan. That nuttiness.
Yeah.
I'm looking for that you mentioned, right? And that was helpful. There's still a lot going on here, though.
Starting to pick up on the coffee. And here's where I'm seeing it. At the end of the exhale, kind of the lingering flavor. It's subtle, but it's there. So when you take a good drink of coffee, and I guess I should preface black coffee, good black coffee, not corrupted by creamer or sugar or anything.
Wow, you made a statement there.
I did, and I stand by it.
That's one to stand on, right?
And when like you've had a drink of coffee and then 30 seconds or so later, you can kind of taste that lingering kind of tone, that coffee tone, if you will. And again, if it's a more floral coffee, if it's a more earthy coffee, whatever, but kind of that acidity. And that's what I'm picking up on at the end of the exhales. There's just that little bit of acidity that reminds me or connects my brain to coffee. And I like it.
I mean, and let's be honest here. Normal night smoking a stick with you guys at a shop, I wouldn't say I'm always this tuned in.
No.
To every puff, I mean, that's just, you don't always smoke quite like that, right?
That's a great segue, Patrick. You weren't trying to segue us, but...
I don't know what we're segueing to.
Our topic tonight is on Brotherhood, cigar Brotherhood. If you spent time in the cigar world, it's quite possible you've seen in print or you've heard somebody talk about the Brotherhood of the leaf. But this idea that amongst cigar smokers, there is a camaraderie, there is a brotherhood, and honestly a sisterhood too, because I've been in cigar shops where there are plenty of women smoking and enjoying cigars, and it's just this community of like-minded, maybe not even really like-minded per se, but at least with the cigar, we're all there for this one reason. We're going to enjoy a stick.
There's certainly a common thread, right?
As we've been smoking, all of us, for well over 10 years or longer, we've had a lot of opportunity to make a lot of connections, have a lot of good conversations. And then amongst the four of us, there's definitely formed a brotherhood around having a cigar in our hand and good conversations around the table.
I have found it's pretty rare we walk into a cigar smoking scenario, whether it's a shop or elsewhere, where somebody doesn't just want to talk to you. Right? I mean, I think about those shops that we walk in. We go into some interesting shops from time to time, right? I'm thinking of one that we regularly hit that's pretty small. And, there's always a group of fellas down on the bottom floor sitting around the cash register, basically like...
They are clearly the regulars.
Yeah, they are as regular as a fiber supplement.
They're probably good friends with the wow. They're good friends with the owner.
Yeah,
maybe they're hoping for deep discounts because they know the owner.
Yep. When I first started smoking cigars, I wasn't frequenting shops very often. Very quickly, though, I started to realize smoking alone was no fun. I mean, when I did do it, I was oftentimes trying to be more aware of what I was smoking. I would be doing some journaling, taking notes, and generally trying to pay attention to and learn what did I like, what did I not like, and some of those things. But it didn't take long to be like, I would rather do this with someone else or a group of friends and engage in some conversation. Fast forward 20 years later, and if I'm smoking a cigar, it's with someone else, if not a group of someone's. I don't ever go out, very, very rarely. And if I know I'm going to go out, that's the perfect day, it's the end of the day, it's a Friday night after work, I'm usually calling one of you guys or someone else to hey, let's get together and have a cigar.
Ryan, you've piqued my interest there, if I may. You had a different kind of foray into cigars early on. You had community.
Are you referring to my online?
Yeah.
So early on, I wanted to just learn as much as I could about cigars. Took to the internet to start researching different cigars, and that led me to a forum message board that was all about cigars. Club Stogie was what it was called back in those days. Club Stogie. They had a gorilla as their logo and mascot. And I tell you what, I spent probably about 2 years on there. And in the course of those 2 years, reading comments, leaving my own comment, and it was everything. If you remember those old message boards,
there was a thread for every facet of your life.
Every single thing.
It's like Reddit before Reddit, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's Reddit scattered.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
If I remember right from your stories, you got a bunch of free stuff, right?
I know. That was what I was not expecting. I was like, hey, I'm happy just to learn some stuff, get some recommends, get some knowledge. But in the course of those 2 years, I probably received through just straight up gifts, strangers across the country sending me cigars. Hey, I saw your...
Put it in the mail and mail it to you.
Drop it in a box. Here comes 5 cigars.
Holy crap.
No need to Venmo money or anything. It was just, I saw your post.
The ATF would have investigated it had you done that.
I think you'll like these. These are some of my favorites. Hope you enjoy them.
Make America that again.
Oh, no
doubt.
A lot of contests, because again, these guys just wanted people to experience what they loved and were experiencing. So, that community, I mean, I learned so much. They fast forwarded my cigar knowledge by years.
The Brotherhood of the Leaf story that I think of that comes, I mean, there's tons, but that small shop that I was referencing earlier, there is a heavy Polish population there. And there was a day, Jason was with me that day. We had a mutual friend that we're all friends with, Jerry, that said, "Hey, you gotta come on." This is his shop. He's a member there. He's got a locker there.
He lives like half a mile away.
He practically lives at the shop, right?
He walks there on a regular basis.
And he says, "Oh, you gotta come up for Dingus Day." And listen, I'm not Polish,
boy.
right?
Yeah.
I'm not Polish. But we roll up into the shop and he said, "It's a daytime thing." So like Dingus Day is it's another name, it's a Polish name for Easter Monday. And there's some cultural celebration that happens in Polish culture. But for these gentlemen, their expression of it, at least, was to just spend a day basically having an ethnic festival, a Polish festival at the cigar shop.
A lot of food.
Oh my gosh. So the wives, right? So all the regulars, their wives show up and tolerate the cigar smoking for the day. We go upstairs. This is a little house that they've turned into a cigar shop.
There's getting no way you're getting away from cigar smoke.
Oh my gosh, right.
Like, not even on your birthday.
There's ventilation, but like, come on, right?
Come on.
Yeah, because you opened a window.
And you get a busy day in there when every seat is full and it is thick, right? We roll upstairs and these wives of these guys, that some of them we smoked with or seen at the shop over the years, they're in there and they've got pierogies and meats of unidentified origins. And it's just, the deal was, you come in, I think we slapped down $10 as a suggested donation.
That's it?
To cover the cost of food. It was open bar, open drinks for the entire day. You got a t-shirt if you wanted. Right? Now, unfortunately, because men of a certain size do tend to smoke cigars, all of the sizes that I would want to wear were
all gone.
I took home a medium and I've never worn it. But we go up there and, they're passing, "Oh, you got to try my wife's hers are better." We sit down and there's a guy there. He looked like, he could have been Dom DeLuise's brother, right? And he's sitting there and Jerry says, "Oh, have you met Dom?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've seen him at the shop before." Dom's sitting upstairs. His wife made at least a couple of the dishes. And I learned that Dom, you just sit down. You're not a stranger. And it wasn't just that, "Oh, hey, I'm friendly to you." It was, "Oh no, you're sitting near me. You're in my like, have my food, have my drink, smoke with me. I'm going to get to know." And he had a true, genuine interest. That's what I love about going into those situations and getting to know folks. And I mean, you meet all kinds. We had a night in Utah.
Oh boy, gosh, man.
Remember that night? So, the three of us were on a work travel together, and we knew that we wanted to get a night of smoking. So we did not go to a shop that night. We found a pub.
Right. That's right.
That had an outdoor area that was cigar friendly.
Yes.
Kind of an outdoor fire pit. And so we rolled in. I think we had dinner in there first and then went out back to smoke some cigars. Mm-hmm. And really we're talking to ourselves.
We were trying. Real hard. After I think we played some trivia.
We did do a little
before we went outside.
Yes.
Yeah. And
world's best trivia team name that night in Salt Lake City.
Yes.
What were they called?
You want me to say it?
Yo, I absolutely do.
Brigham Like Some Young?
Brigham Like Some Young.
When in Utah, right?
It's culturally appropriate. Right?
Well, it wasn't our idea. It was someone else's idea, but it was funny. It was pretty darn funny. So all of a sudden, it's a little fire, like a little gas fire pit, right? Next thing you know, there are 4 people
From very different
from
walks
various
of life.
different walks of life, sitting there talking to us. Was I smoking a pipe?
Yeah, you
I
might
might
have been.
smoking a pipe. There was a conversation about that. And then immediately it was just into why are you here and what's going on? And the next thing you know, we're having some weird confession time with a guy who flies drones for a living and all of his guilt. I'm like, what is happening?
No, he
right
didn't
now?
fly the drones.
He
He
made
made
the
drones
equipment,
for the
yeah.
military.
That's what it was.
Yeah, he worked
And-
for a military contractor of some
Yeah.
sort.
Yeah, and
And
he had to quit because of his guilt, and I was like, oh,
He was
my-
processing that right in front of us.
in
Of like,
real
do I need to?
stinking time. We were
Yeah.
listening to this man.
Meanwhile, the seemingly very successful entrepreneur that has struck up conversation with us has a young female on his lap, and they are talking to us. She seemed like a gypsy. She was like wasn't she a bassist in a
She
in
was.
a punk band or
She
something like
was,
that.
or
Yes,
punk band.
yes.
And they were talking about how their dating life. You know, he'd gone out to the desert to see her at some weekend long bender festival.
Wild.
Ryan and I were on a trip, and we looked up on our phone and found a place that was not too far off the beaten path. And this shop was an interesting little shop. He was the only guy in the shop. It was a town between two towns, and he just chatted us up the whole time. We were just minding our own business, but here he came. And long story short, he had started doing some stuff with a 3D printer, and I thought some of it was interesting. And I said, "Hey, if you got a card, I might buy some of those off you." And he's like, "Sure."
Yeah, he had printed little cigar rests.
That's what it
Kind of
was.
looked like
That's
little
right.
chest rooks.
That's right.
Just a little stand to rest your
And he's
cigar on.
doing it out of 3D printers,
Yeah.
And I thought that was fascinating. And I was like, "Oh, maybe I'll buy one of those from you." And he's like, "Sure, here, scan my hand." I said, "What?"
Yeah, he just stuck his
He
hand
just stuck
out
his
to
hand
you.
out and said, "Here, scan my hand."
Come again?
Yes, and my phone at the time, it's been a few years. The RF reader wasn't automatically turned on my
Oh,
phone,
yeah.
and so my phone didn't read it. So I go here, picks up his phone, and goes beep, and then poof, up his business card popped up on his phone because he had embedded this chip in his hand.
How's your cigar smoking, gents? Any new flavor notes that you're picking up on? Because I've been introduced to a new flavor that is dancing around
Let's see.
there.
What am I at? I'm at like an inch and a half
Yeah.
of ash right now. That's about how far in I am.
And it's not every time. Cedar, still foundation
Pretty solid,
of cedar.
yes.
The coffee is kind of bouncing back and forth where sometimes I get that acidic coffee kind of finish.
Yeah.
But I've started to notice some little fruity notes that resonate of plum, which I hesitate to say that because we've mentioned plum at different times, and Stephen, you're always like, I don't know what a plum tastes like, apparently, because I never can taste, or you never can taste plum, but I'm getting kind of that really rich, earthy plum, the skin of the plum flavor, and it's soft. It's not super pronounced, but it's kind of there on the finish, and it's nice.
Listen,
it balances with that cedar real nice.
You're really terrible at this. Here's why. The notes don't say plum.
Well,
They say prunes. So if you would have just been better at this,
You're
you would
mixing
guess
your old
prune.
people fruit.
Because I'm pretty sure a prune is a dried plum, but that's not the point.
Oh, is that true?
Pretty sure it is. Yes.
Wow.
Isn't that right? Isn't that a prune?
It's probably true.
Isn't prune a dried plum?
Definitely cedar forward. I would say the kind of that peppery tingle on the tongue and the palate has dissipated for me at this point.
I have apparently smoked way too many Nicaraguan cigars because the pepper not there for me.
Yeah, I had it early on. Like it gave me a good dance on the tongue and the palate, but it was gone pretty quickly after that. That's dissipated.
This is a great constructed cigar.
Yeah,
I mean,
it really is.
I bet I could have smoked another inch there before it would have.
Yeah, holding firm. The ash is pretty nice, firm ash, soft gray in color. Good smoke volume with this stick.
Yeah. I agree with you on the pepper. I've had peppery cigars that I wish would go away.
Yeah.
And this is not
No
where,
such thing.
That's
Not
not, that's not where this is.
It did freshen up there after the ash, right? Like, and that's an unusual, like big hit of cedar again after that.
Yeah.
But fresh again, like a fresh cedar.
Want to do a little thing called the hot seat.
Okay, here we go.
Again, for our listeners, I think hopefully this will be a good way to get to know us a little bit better. I was going to put Jason on the hot seat tonight. Maybe that's why he's not able to be with us.
I didn't show.
Well, let me volunteer, because that way I can put my cigar down, and maybe me not smoking it, I'll catch up with you guys, because I have removed my wrapper, unfortunately, and all the rest of you jerks are still.
I'm just now hitting the middle third. So
I've got to learn to smoke better. That's just all there is to it.
Are you?
I actually think you're very good at
I was
smoking.
going to
That's
say,
the issue.
if you're enjoying the cigar, I think you're doing it perfect.
I'm doing it just the right way.
So the idea of the hot seat is pretty simple. Stephen, you volunteered. Thank you.
Right.
We're going to take 5 minutes.
Okay.
We're going to hit you up with some rapid fire questions. They may not all be cigar related. Then again, they might all be. Kind of give us the from the hip answer.
Love this.
Just jump in as questions come to your mind. We've not thought through this
is
at all. So Stephen.
Yes.
First cigar you can remember smoking.
Swiss or sweet?
First premium cigar you remember smoking.
He did not qualify.
Good qualifier.
He did not
Thank you.
qualify.
Hand rolled.
Oh, goodness.
Which may not have been the first that you actually smoked, but maybe the first one of memory.
Well, I can remember the first one I smoked that's memorable, but I can't tell you what it was. The only thing I remember about it was the first cigar I'd ever smoked that had been in a humidor. And the experience of it was when my brain at the time, it wasn't a dried hockey puck.
Yeah.
Right. It was a bit squishy, and it was humidified, and it had some. I was just like, this is the most amazing thing. Why don't I live around these places? Well, a friend had given it to me, and I was like, this is the most amazing thing. So I cannot remember what it was, but that was my remembrance of that first stick. Like, oh, this is different. The dried Swisher out of the gas station, not the same thing.
Favorite size cigar to smoke?
I do enjoy a Toro. I don't want, evidently I need to longer because I burned through them so fast.
You need to switch to Churchills.
Evidently I need to. I do not, I would rather, a Robusto just feels like, oh, it's over already.
It's too quick, yeah.
It's over already, yeah.
When did you first consider yourself a cigar smoker?
Oh, that's a great question. It would probably be after I, moved here, and I think I said before, my foray into tobacco use more was around pipes than cigars, and so it wasn't until probably 10 years ago that you would see me more with a cigar in my hand than a pipe, but I do smoke both.
Yeah.
So about 10 years ago.
Favorite shop you've ever been in?
Ooh. For different reasons, I really enjoyed CI up in Pennsylvania, Cigars International, only because it was one of those places that is a building that is a humidor.
The Bass Pro Shops.
The Bass Pro Shops.
It really is, yeah. The Cabela's.
Just the idea that the entire, I'm getting a fits when I walk in the place because it's all humidified, right? I feel my pores are feeling good.
Right.
That was exciting and interesting, but only because it was that, right? It wasn't, probably is only because people were there. The other unique one that comes to mind is the one we all smoked in North Carolina. That because of the state's law,
Casablanca's.
Is that what it was called?
Yeah,
do you remember that?
In Asheville,
North
North Carolina.
I think I still have a matchbox from Casablanca's.
Great matches.
The state law of North Carolina did not allow tobacco and alcohol to be sold in the same building. So their wonderful knowledge was to split the building in half, have 2 entry points, and they both were still connected. Now you had to pay on both sides of the wall. You had to buy a cigar over there and then walk over there and smoke it with the whiskey. But it was an interesting workaround that the state of North Carolina would allow.
They
them to do
had a humidor attendant because of that. Remember
because
that?
of that, right?
Yeah. So you kind of had a little humidor Sherpa.
You really did. You really did. And he couldn't go anywhere because it wasn't like he could leave and go to the other place because his business was on that side of the wall.
What I liked about that place was the bartender was old school. He dressed in the vest.
Oh, he did.
And like the armband. And he was slinging whiskey like it was, Prohibition.
Yeah.
Worst cigar experience.
Oh man, we all kind of share one together. But
You already know it.
Yeah, we're all kind of going there.
I didn't know if that was your worst.
Only because the owner liked to yell at people if he did not particularly care for your the way you frequented his
He's
shop.
literally the soup Nazi of cigar shops.
He really is. I don't know if I had a clove cigarette on me or something, and he come around and lit me up for having something. Now, he sold clove cigarillos up at the register.
Yeah,
but you weren't smoking
but I wasn't
his
smoking
clove
his clove cigarillo. And he was pretty mad at me about it. And he yelled at our other friend for parking his car.
For parking his car in the only available spot.
In a way that he thought was wrong. I didn't know you could have an opinion on how to park a car, but this guy had one.
He was lit.
Yeah,
This guy
he
had
did.
one. Yeah, so that was the worst experience because he yelled at me.
What's something you wish you knew earlier in your cigar smoking journey that you know now?
Oh, great question.
And this is probably still true. I will pigeonhole myself into what I would perceive to be a flavor profile, and I'll steer myself away from something else that I think maybe not fall in that, just because I don't want to waste my money on something I don't like. But the more I partake, the more I do things like this, the more I'm like, I might like something from the Dominican, where before I smoked one and I had a bad experience doing, I'm never smoking Dominican the rest of my life. Well, that's not true. But I tend to do that to myself. And I did it a lot more early on.
Yeah.
Like I would stick to a zone and never come out of the zone.
Talking about shops, I'm flashing back in my brain what I considered my shop when I lived in Indiana.
You haven't said this place's name once. So come on, give them a shout out.
Yeah, definitely. Angelina's, 2 locations, Plymouth, Indiana. The shop I frequented was in Warsaw, Indiana. And the day that really sticks out to me, I go in, sit down, and one of the regulars that's there almost every single time was there, and he was the only guy there. And he goes, "Hey, man, come on over here. I got a question for you." I'm like, "All right." He's like, "I hope you don't mind, but I'm going through something, and can I get your advice?" And I'm like, "Okay." This is an older guy, I'm probably in my 30s, I don't know, but he's a little bit older than me, and he's like, "Me and my wife are going through some things. I think I'm probably going to be getting a divorce." And then for the next 2 hours, he just unloads life.
Oh, come on now.
Onto me.
Did you even know his name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But that was about it. I knew his name. I knew what he did for work, and I knew what cigars he liked to smoke, and that was about it.
Yeah.
And for 2 hours, he's just sharing, I'm like, this is crazy to me that you're unloading, and just had real life conversation. I didn't solve any of his problems. I didn't fix anything, but really all he needed for 2 hours was an ear.
Yeah.
And I happened to be the lucky guy to give it to him, and I just thought, this just doesn't happen anywhere. This guy was just having a day and needed somebody to talk to. There's a good definition for brotherhood, I think.
That's funny. I'll give a shout out. There's a shop in Lynchburg, Virginia that I hit, and I told you guys about it. I was on a work trip down that neck of the woods, and I found a shop in that town. It's called Pap's Cigar.
Oh, what a great name.
Pap, right?
Great name.
Now,
I would go there just on the name alone,
dude,
right?
And listen, I sent you guys pictures. It was a vibe, right? It was an old downtown shop, So, I was in there a couple nights the first week that I went down there, and I didn't realize at first lounge for members.
Oh my!
In the back
with a keypad or whatever to get in.
That's exactly right. And I believe there was external access from the rear of the building. But one of the evenings I was there, out from this back lounge came this old man. He's wearing the Tommy Bahama shirt, and the loose linen pants. It's just instantly you knew. It's one of those ones like, oh, that's Pap, right? He looked like the owner of Jurassic Park. You see him in your head?
Yeah.
His
Edinburgh. He's just who this is.
He had the hat and all, right?
My gosh.
Kind of the straw hat and Tommy Bahama shirt and linen pants. And he comes rolling out and instantly, just everybody in the shop, "Hey, how you doing tonight? Thanks for being here," whatever.
He's working the room.
Work the room real quick. And it was not an unbusy downtown area in the evening. And there were these 2 younger gentlemen of Hispanic race, right? Latinos. And they had been outside and they kind of had backpacks on. You could tell they were just walking, just hanging out. And they kind of poked their head into the shop right when Pap had come up through there. And Pap just said, hey, how you doing tonight, guys? And they were outside, out on the sidewalk, kind of looking in like, hey, what is this place kind of thing? They poked their head in, and in the front of Pap's shop, he had a really nice chess table set. And it had, these nice big, I don't know if they're carved or porcelain or whatever pieces on this chess set. And these kids were eyeing it up, and they said to him, is this your shop? Are you the owner? And he said, yeah, welcome in. What can I do for you? And they said, could we play chess? And the one kid said, he's like, do I need to buy anything? Like, I will, but you could totally, these are not cigar smokers, right? They weren't bothered by the smoke.
Right.
But they did not come here to smoke. They wanted to play chess. They thought it was cool. Pap didn't bat an eye. He said, of course.
Yeah.
Sit down. Again, there's that thing of like, now I get it. You're a business owner, you're generous, but like, you don't have to let them come in and just sit in your shop.
Yeah.
And take up
Especially
space.
if he's going to take a seat for a guy who was going to buy a stick.
Right.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about. Like there's just something about that mentality of like, come in, you're welcome here. Because does it really matter, right? He didn't have to, but he did, And I feel like we encounter that quite a bit.
Yeah. I'm definitely at the start of my final third.
Yeah, I'm getting right there too.
Relatively even burn, but it just kind of went out on me.
I would say so far, it is a flavorful cigar.
Yes.
Like it's not been lacking flavor. It's not been like kind of mild or boring. It has been pretty consistent through so far for me. I don't feel like I've had any like, whoa, hit that middle third and hit something new.
Wasn't like that EP Carrillo for you.
That was a different experience.
You had a moment with that one. On the middle third, which we now passed,
Yeah,
Ryan picked up on plum. They say
the corner.
prunes, which is, I guess there's a slightly different profile there. But dark chocolate, did you get a dark chocolate?
I've not gotten that at all.
In the middle.
Okay.
Did you get a dark chocolate?
Now that you point that out, I don't know that I identified it as dark chocolate, but again, kind of that bitterness that you get with dark chocolate.
Yeah.
I was getting some, again, on the finish, a little bit of that bitterness. Not in a bad way.
Right.
I didn't pick up the chocolate part of it, but yeah, a little bit of that now that you mention it.
Almost like that bitterness that you get on cocoa powder. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've got...
oh, no. Here we go.
I've got a little bit of head buzz off this stick a little bit, like just a mild, like I can feel it, just a little bit in my head there. It's not like, and this happens sometimes when you're smoking. So I had dinner tonight, it's not like
are you safe to drive?
Oh yeah. This is not like such a strong stick that I'm like, oh gosh, but I've got a little bit, this one's gone to my head a little bit more than others do sometimes, which is kind of surprised me because the flavor has been so bold that I would expect that.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit last time about a full body, medium body. I don't remember what this one said it was. It's a full body. So that would make sense then.
And we talked about because this is not the darkest, oiliest wrapper we've seen. But sometimes we assume, right? Oh, dark wrapper, oily wrapper, it's going to knock my, back on my tush. I guess that's partly, I was doing that a little bit like, well, why am I, I got a little bit.
But darkness of the wrapper doesn't always equal full body.
Right.
I'm picking up a different wood now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did read the book, so I know what it is.
I don't. I'm curious now.
I'm picking up.
Tell me what I'm tasting.
Oak.
Okay.
Oak.
Kind of a dry.
Yes.
Yep.
That was the flavor that I said when I freshened it up and it was different. That was and that's continued now for me. It's not the other flavors that it says that I never tasted the chocolate and there's other things in there too. But the oak, which is different than the cedar that was on the front end.
The cedar's gone. It fell off somewhere in the middle of the second third.
And I am clearly getting. I was struggling to put my words to it, but I just checked the description there. I'm getting the other one that it says will show up now.
Are you really? I wished I was.
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon.
Really?
And here's how it's showing up for me. It's, when you get, not a mouthful, but like you get a chunk of cinnamon in your mouth. And you get that.
Are you chewing on Red Hots on a regular basis?
No, not the hot cinnamon. That kind of like that dry pull
Yes.
that cinnamon
Yeah.
does.
Okay.
That's what I'm getting on. And
Okay.
it's not unenjoyable, but I couldn't put my, like, where's that kind of astringent, like,
So it's not the cinnamon I get in Red Hots. It's the cinnamon I get if I dash some cinnamon
but I
on
couldn't
my,
have put words
on my
to it.
toast.
Because
Yeah.
very similar to what Ryan said all the way through on this stick, it's not that any of these flavors are so pronounced that you're like, yep,
Yeah,
that's
nailed it.
Nailed it, right. But when you kind of, oh, that's what that is.
So again, paying attention, right?
Yeah, I've definitely got
Now
that, though.
I'm not, I haven't taken a draw for a minute or two, but just the flavors that are, in my mouth, I'm getting that cinnamon. When I draw and get the smoke in there, I'm getting that oak, that dryness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going home tonight and dumping a bunch of cinnamon in my mouth. Just to
Don't
see
do
if
it.
tastes the
Don't
same.
do it. You're going to choke. You're going to be down in the kitchen.
Feel like powder. I can't breathe.
Steve's got his head under the kitchen faucet. Dumping half of the McCormick's into his mouth. Jeez. Listen, I'm getting down here into very clearly the final third. It's a good smoke. It's a good stick.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no doubt about it. It is far above the grown line.
Yeah, I'm with you. I liked the front and the middle. Probably one of the first ones that I really could distinguish flavors as I went along. Like I didn't pick up the plum because I don't know what that tastes like. But
We're bringing plums.
We're bringing plums.
I feel like if we don't have a bowl of plums on the table for all the future episodes, we're
We're
missing out.
never gonna do it again.
The mystery flavor in cigars.
My fruit ingestion is just gonna go straight through the roof because of this podcast. But I'm with you. The last third is a little less clear, although the going from cedar to no cedar was pretty clear.
Yeah.
And then going from that middle, which was pretty good in the middle vibe, down to the tasting the oak at the end was an interesting experience. But it is a bit muddy at the end.
Completely agree.
I will say this, I'm now getting the spice.
That we all had before.
Yeah.
You getting the tingles? The tongue tingles?
And it's not a pepper. It's not a...
And see, I'm not getting that now, but I definitely had it early.
Yeah, I have it now. Again, sides of the tongue, roof of the mouth.
Yeah.
And it's not a pepper spice, like a black pepper.
Okay.
But it's not...
It's not cinnamon, right? Is it cinnamon?
Well, maybe, because it's not...
there.
I was going to say it's not cayenne either. So it could be that cinnamon.
Yeah, it's what I was telling you at the early end of it. It was like I had this dance on the side of my tongues and on my upper palate.
Yeah. Which for me, I do tend to enjoy a spicier, peppery type cigar. So this coming on in the last inch of the cigar has kind of redeemed the final third a little bit for me. But it did not start there. I mean, again, it was heavy in the oak, a little bit of that residual cinnamon flavor. Maybe now I'm getting some of that cinnamon spice. Well, I'm about to the end of my stick.
Same.
I'm with you.
Ready to put a rating on this.
Okay.
Overall appearance of the cigar, great looking cigar.
Yep.
The triple band, great artwork on the bands.
Yep.
It just, it looks quality. It looks premium. Cigar was very well constructed. Nice ash, held on. I knocked off, inch every time. So I'm going to give it some high marks on the construction, on the smoke. The initial flavor, really exciting, kind of died off. Picked up a little bit at the end for me with those spice notes. Out of 10, again, giving a little more weight to the overall flavor of the cigar, more so than the other qualities. I would give this probably a 6, maybe 6.5. If those flavors would have held longer, those initial flavors would have held longer, we'd definitely be a solid 7. But I'm going to say a 6.
Construction on this was great. Burn was great. Like high marks there. I totally agree with you. Like well-built stick. It burnt very even. For me, where it lost on this stick was it didn't hold my interest all the way through to the end in the way that it just wasn't as interesting. That doesn't mean it didn't taste good. It just wasn't as interesting. And I didn't have that like, oh, I got to keep smoking this because this is just like every turn of the bend, there's something new, something different.
Yeah.
While I would say it had good flavor and it lost complexity as it went on, there was new stuff that showed up for me, but it wasn't. It was less interesting, I guess, on that way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's kind of where I tapered off. A very unscientific rating.
Well, I'll go 3 for 3 on the headspace. So I finally got to.
You got there too.
Finally got to the little bit of a head buzz here at the end. Now that it's done, and I'm like, oh yeah, if I stand up too quickly, I'm going to know it. So yeah, we all 3 got there.
Yeah. Well, as we wrap up, any final thoughts as we close out this episode?
It was a good smoke.
It was
Brotherhood of the Leaf.
Yeah.
Sorry, we missed a brother.
Yeah.
We're down a brother.
Friends, thanks for tuning in to this episode of Burnt Offerings. We're glad that you were with us. We hope that you'll come back for our next adventure. We'll see what kind of trouble we get ourselves into next time.
Thank you for listening to Burnt Offerings. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite platform and let us know what you thought of the show.